Let's talk about nets. I'm out in the field. It is the first Tuesday of the month. The first and the third Tuesdays of the month are when the nationally coordinated nets take place, with a national net on the first and the third Tuesday, and that evening the rolling regional nets take place, where AmRRON traffic is passed along to give everybody an opportunity to practice receiving the traffic and to test their equipment. This is a practice net. So it's a chance for everybody to practice keying up your radio, to make sure your antenna is working, to make sure you're heard, to fix anything that needs to be fixed. So I was net control for the national nets earlier today, but I wanted to head out into the field to set up for receiving or participating in the rolling regional nets. So those take place at 8 p.m. in each time zone. That's local time. The national net takes place on Zulu time, 1900 Zulu for the voice net and 2000 Zulu for the digital net. Now, there are nets taking place almost every night of the week. These are opportunities for you to practice with your equipment, to become familiar with it, to make sure everything's in working order, because any experienced radio operator will tell you if you don't practice with your gear, it's not going to work for you when you need it, because things break, software needs to be updated, something in your radio is out of adjustment. This helps you maintain, not only maintain your gear to make sure that it's ready, but to maintain proficiency and a confidence level in your equipment, and also the experience to fix things quickly to get your radio back on the air when something's not right. It could be your coax, it could be your power supply, something in your software, it could be a setting on your radio, it could be any number of different things. The more you practice, the more you train, the more you become comfortable with it, you can fix these things and get your radio back on the air. So today what I have here is, or this evening, I have the Evolve 3, which is 12 volt, runs on 8 hours of battery. It's just an amazing little laptop. It just doesn't have the horsepower though, so I'm going to be probably switching over to the mini PC with the Linux operating system on it, because it's such a low power draw. It's 12 volts, which is good. I'm running off a battery, except the Evolve 3 is fully charged. And that'll run 8 hours just on that internal battery. So everything's contained there, but they're affordable, but they're cheap. So things do go wrong with them. If you're going to trust your life with it, maybe have 2 or 3 or 4 backups, because things do go wrong or go out with these. They're not quite as reliable, even though everything's in one nice, neat little package with, your screen, your laptop, your battery, your operating system, everything's built into it. So we're going to fire this up. I'm going to run my GPS out, because that will give me accurate time. I'm completely off grid right now. And so I'm going to run this GPS dongle outside, plug that in, so when I fire up the laptop, it will already be connected and it will recognize it. And of course, here I'm in my hunting blind. So let's hang that right out the little window. Again, there we go. Now it's outside. All right, that'll pick up multiple satellites. So let's plug this in. And before we turn this on, though, we're going to get out the X6100, the Xiegu, and it is also 12 volt. This is a QRP, low power radio. I've already run the antenna, and so we're going to connect the antenna, and then I am going to power this up. So let me get the cables out. Set this right here. Extend the legs so we have an angle. So I'm going to run this off of battery power as well, because it does have internal batteries, but it also limits the amount of transmitting power that you have if you're running off internal batteries. So this will transmit up to, what, 10 watts? Here we go. Okay, green light, it's fully powered. So we'll go ahead and power this up. Okay, green light means it's full batteries. Hello, press and hold. There we go. Now we're going to let the radio come online, so to speak. Let it power up, I should say. And then we will turn on the laptop, the Evolve 3. Now, after the time change, AmRRON switches over to 80 meters for our rolling regional nets. In the summertime, it's the 40 meter band, 7110. So right now we are at 80 meters, 3588. So I'll go ahead and switch bands. There we go. 80 meter digital. Okay, antenna's connected. Hit the auto tuner. Okay, so if we're running rig control, we need to open up rig control first. Okay, so once we got rig control hooked up, then let's see here. Let's open up another workstation here, and let's see. Open up FL Digi. And let's see here. Good to go. All right. Oh, 3588. Okay, cool. Now, let's see. Let's adjust our squelch a little bit. And I could hear some stuff coming in a little bit ago. And actually, I could see it. There we go. Let me take the squelch off. There we go. So I can make out part of it. It's kind of broken right now. But this is the mountain net taking place. I'm in the Pacific time zone. So still copying some. I see AmRRON. All right, a little broken, not bad. I got an end-fed antenna, ran up into a tree about 20 feet up, 22 feet up. And so we'll check back here in just a little bit. While we're waiting, what we could do is let's check our GPS to make sure that all of that's working correctly. And you can just type in C GPS, and it should show us. There we go. All right. We're looking at multiple satellites there, as you can see. And let's see, what time is it? It's showing us that it is, let's see, 03:26 and 32 seconds Zulu time. All right, which sounds about right, because, yep, that's actually almost to the second. If you look at the conky on the AmRRON build, those two match up. So we don't have to do anything with the timing or force it to synchronize or anything like that. It is synchronized, and we've got multiple satellites. Okay, so we've got a little over 30 minutes to wait for the net. Okay, so while we're waiting for the net to begin, I just wanted to remind you that there are regular training opportunities for you to participate in to get your comms up. And every Monday, the AIB goes out, the AmRRON Intelligence Brief goes out at 2000 Zulu on the 20 meter band, and at 2030 Zulu on the 40 meter band. It's sent out both in FL message and FLAMP, so that you can authenticate it with the AmRRON actual PGP key to make sure that it is authentic and from AmRRON. National nets take place on the first and the third Tuesday of the month, with a national net taking place during the daytime on 20 meters. Why during the daytime? Because that is when the conditions are most favorable for the 20-meter band for reaching across the country during the daytime. It's a long distance band. In the evening, 40 meters and 80 meters start really opening up. 40 meters in the wintertime really goes long. I mean, really long. You'll skip over your own time zone that you're trying to share information with. So once the time changes, then approximately that is when the regional nets, the rolling regional nets, will begin switching over to 80 meters because it's more favorable for regional communications. And they will pass along any official AmRRON traffic, and that starts on the first Tuesday of the month. That's when that net cycle starts. So if the first of the month is on a Wednesday, well, it'd be that following Tuesday that the net cycle begins. Now in the off weeks and other nights of the week, there are other nets. Go to AmRRON.com, click on the Net Schedules tab, and from the drop down you'll find nationally coordinated nets, you'll find rolling regional nets, and even some unique sub-regional nets. For example, we have the Sea Surge net on the Pacific Coast. That's the Cascadia Subduction Response Group. And in case of an earthquake, they're expecting a major earthquake. If that happens, we want to give people along up and down the West Coast the opportunity to practice communicating. That's what that net is there for. It would be stood up in the event of a major earthquake. And their emphasis is on, earthquake preparedness and news related to seismic activity and so on. Now, I noticed something on the screen. This is very interesting. I'm noticing some RFI, radio frequency interference, coming down on the waterfall of the X6100. Look at that, equally spaced apart. I was wondering, what is causing that? Is something in my local environment, because I'm completely off grid, but this little light that I have, a LED light, which is pretty cool, but look what happens when I turn it off. Completely cleans it all up. Isn't that something? Now I do got a couple little stray signals here, but now I can actually I can see a signal there on the waterfall. It's further down, but yeah, interesting. So hey, USB powered stuff is pretty cool, but some of these, it's probably in this little regulator right here. It's probably in the power switch right there, because it actually has a dimmer, and dimmer switches are notorious for causing RFI. There it is. That's the culprit. Sending that signal right down the waterfall in equal increments. Turn it off. Clean. There's just disintegrating now, the RF. Let me just unplug that all together. Okay, so I grabbed a different light, another task light, what I have here, and that will be much better, because now we know it's actually too bright. There we go. That's probably a little bit better. These things, awesome little task lights. I love this thing. It's got the built-in little tripod legs, telescoping, but that dimmer switch, that's a killer. So great task light, just not around digital mode communications. That goes away. Okay, so the nets are going to start here in just a moment. As you can see there, it is 1956 Pacific time. The rolling regional nets on the first and third Tuesdays take place at 8 p.m. local time, and on the first and third Thursdays are the voice nets. We don't have a whole lot of activity on the voice nets. Pacific net is very active. Central, a little sparse. Mountain is pretty much non-existent right now, and the East Coast is hit and miss. Just because it's all volunteers. You got to have the people willing to run a voice net. Some people really enjoy doing voice communications. They don't really care for digital that much. And there is a lot to be said about hearing another human voice on the other side. During T-Rex or grid down training scenarios, those exercises, it's very encouraging to reach out to other people and get reports and news and intelligence, but it's all type print coming over the air. I actually found myself looking forward to the voice nets on HF. We can hear another voice. You can say, hey, how you doing? It's great to hear you out there. How's everything? I'm doing good. It's just real time. It's more personal. It does a lot more for morale. And so I think I know that it's underutilized and underappreciated until you get into those grid down situations. You can actually talk to a familiar voice. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and unlock the screen. And here we go. Now I'm going to be doing more videos specifically talking about nets, how to participate in a net, what to watch for, what to listen for. There were some conversations that came up today on the AmRRON Telegram channel where people were asking questions, saying, hey, I heard that when I tried to check in, Net Control came back and said there was a double, go ahead. And he's saying, what do I do there? Or what am I supposed to do? And what does that really, can you clarify what a double means? And which obviously is two stations trying to check in at the same time, and Net Control can hear both, and it comes in as just a jumbled, garbled mess. And oftentimes he can pick out one of the call signs, and then he can address that station and say, this X call sign, XYZ, call again. Other station, stand by, there was a double. So the other station knows he came in at the same time as another station. And so that comes through experience, but also through training and education, and that's what I hope to accomplish with these videos. Really kind of shorten that learning curve and fast track radio operators to get to a point where they're real comfortable on the air and they know what's expected. They know what to expect during a net. They know what's expected of them. They know how the flow goes. They understand all the nuances that are involved, really, which are intimidating, especially for a very new person, which is sometimes it's good not to worry about keying up the radio, not to worry about transmitting, but just tuning in, getting comfortable with your equipment, getting your antenna dialed in, getting your station set up and functioning well, where you're receiving very well. And just watch and learn, listen, see how people are doing, watch the flow of the nets and how people check in, what the tempo is like. And then when you work up the courage, which hopefully isn't very long because everybody's on your side and everybody's been where you're at if you're new, then you throw your call sign out there, check into a net, and then you see Net Control responding to you, acknowledging your check-in, and it feels good. It feels like a big accomplishment at first, and then you start learning how to pass traffic, or watching to see what it looks like when traffic is being passed, because there are SITREP, situation report nets, that specifically focus on just creating and sending a SITREP, and the NCS guides you and walks you through the whole process. This is what you need to do next. Now do this, now do that, now send your SITREP. Then he acknowledges it, and this is where we make mistakes. This is where the mistakes should be made, because this is where you learn. So in a real world emergency, you're making far fewer mistakes. So all right, let's take a look. Okay, so we're looking at 3 minutes into the net, and this is what's called a preamble. The Net Control will start with a preamble, saying, hey, this is an AmRRON Net, this is when we meet, this is the purpose of it, this is who I am, this is where I'm located. I'm going to start taking check-ins. We have traffic to pass after we take some check-ins, and when I call for check-ins, this is the format that you need to check in with your call sign twice, your name, your state, and the net word of the week. The net word of the week is generated and sent out on the 20-meter national nets, and then passed along over the local and regional nets over the following week. This helps our operators practice receiving and passing along a specific piece of information, kind of like handing off a baton. And it's how we know that you actually participated in the net, because the net word of the week cannot be passed any other way other than over radio. And that's the same with the AIB. Anyway, let's go back to the net. There he is. And it's a little broken up tonight. That's okay. Let's see if I can increase my gain and make some adjustments here. My audio input. Well, good. I just transmitted to check into his net. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. Added a little bit more insight into nets, what to look for. Go to AmRRON.com, click on the tab at the top that's labeled Scheduled Nets. Look for the nets, get tuned in, start receiving and watching. Start receiving the signals, watching the format, start receiving the AIB or any other AmRRON traffic, and get plugged in. You can do it. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Maybe buy me a cup of coffee. I could use a cup of coffee right now. It's a little chilly, but we're doing radio, so it's awesome. It keeps me warm. All right, guys, stay safe and get your comms up. This is John Jacob Schmidt, out.